Welcome to the quest for details. We are going rock hounding. We are in Pope Valley. We are going to Pope Creek. There are sections of this that are landlocked that you cannot get to without trespassing, and then there are sections that have public access. So we're going to one of those, and then we're going downstream. And it's spots where there are pullouts and little access points in between private property strips that basically keep you landlocked off of the creek for whole stretches. And then the last thing I'll say about the whole thing is just please have a little extra respect out here, because all of the mountains that you can see in all directions burnt, and so the fence posts are down, the markers are down, and it's really hard to delineate when you're going onto private property. So just stick right in the actual gravel beds and the creek beds when you're out here. I appreciate it. The locals out here appreciate it. Other than that, we had rain. It greened everything up, so it's pretty beautiful. The rivers and creeks all got heavily stirred, so their gravels are just completely renewed and ripped open because we had the fires, and the floods that came through were just unprecedented. I haven't seen anything like that happen in a 2 or 3 day period. So it just tore it up. And for rock hounding, that's a good thing because a whole bunch of gravel is exposed. So we got another few miles to go here, and I'll click you back on when we are down in the creek bed. This is the creek that we're going down into. Not only are the hills denuded, to try and make you understand what this looked like before, it was brush that you couldn't physically walk through most of the time, topped off by oaks and then pines on top of that. And it burnt so hot that it literally incinerated it. So these are not barren hills. These were forested hills. They looked kind of like that. Anyhow, down in this creek bed, like I said, we had flooding that came up. It would have been on the far banks all the way across this, but in like a 2 day period. These rivers in California always go up and down massively, but usually they build up to raging and go down. It dumped rain. It just dumped rain like Noah's flood, and these areas tore through. So what you're looking at is spots that are just stripped. The leaves came off of the willows. The willows got bent sideways. Log jams broke loose, and it just laid everything flat. Every gravel bed is brand new, just brand new and untouched. And this runs all the way out to Lake Berryessa with different little public access points. There's some long hiking trails and stuff down here. It's actually where we're going in at. And yeah, by the time you get down here to where it's wider, if you just stay in the riverbed, you're within your rights. And don't cross the wider chunks of private property upstream of here. But yeah, very exciting. I was out metal detecting, and I saw just how much open area. This will fill in. Grasses will grow, bushes will grow back, the leaves will all get on everything, everything stands up and fluffs out, and then you get little strips of access. Right now it is just, it's awesome. And man, I've done a whole lot of talking and not much hunting, but I feel like I need to every once in a while and just do a check-in and let you know what we're doing, and that it's okay for you to do it too. Okay, we are down into the creek, and as you can see, like I said, it's just been ripped open, and the bushes tucked into their smallest forms where that would probably before cover that whole area. And honestly, there is just endless gravels, and you could probably just stop in one spot and fill up your bucket with awesome jaspers and agates and stuff. This is the same creek where me and Olive got the stuff I was calling fire agate, and I was told that officially you can't find fire agate in California. That's debatable. So I'm calling it red carnelian agate mix. Anyhow, that's in this creek. Also, all kinds of cool stuff. sard looking material. Serpentines. But we're gonna kind of cruise along. I'm gonna keep my eyes out for things of a special aesthetic value to me, and I'll share those with you and see if you agree. I'll go around this way. Yeah, the water's even down from when I was here the other day. So we just have gravel, red jasper mixed with quartz. And a piece of, I don't know, but we'll dip it and look at it. Very quartzy mix of mixed up quartziness. Just some quartz with other minerals mixed in. This is a material that's really prevalent in this creek that has the sard colored, the brown colored agate, and then the more firies and oranges. Here's another piece of it. And some of it can be thin coatings and some of it can be thicker pieces. Let's see. Look right in there. This is mostly opaque, but here we have a translucent little, what would have been a vein that's worn down to a surface now. And those are the colors in it. And they go from creamy white to orange to red. It's definitely an agate material. It's as hard as quartz or any of the other harder microcrystalline creatures of the family. I guess the blues would be considered chalcedonies, but the oranges and the reds in there is what I was calling fire agate. And at this point I will refrain from that and call it carnelian, which is silly because you know, carnelian, agate is all chalcedony, so is jasper, but I don't want to mislead anyone. This is a material, there can be very thick chunks of that, and that's what we're looking for, is thick veins of that are broken out. Regardless of its name, it's beautiful. Let's see, I saw something else. What was I just looking at? Oh, serpentine pebble. This is also where we get really, really pure, nice pieces of serpentine. Little pebble has been beaten down to where it's just its strongest little thing. We will keep that. We're going to leave that because we're looking for better. I recommend just picking up each one of these pieces that looks like that and give it a check over. You'll start to get an eye for it. That's your host material. See, that one looks really good. Just from the amount of translucence that I see already. And then we'll go dip it in the water. Quick scan around to see if the river classified anything of a similar weight and size, which it tends to do. That's why there's little piles and big piles. Ooh, what are you? Just dip that real quick. Kind of a purpley brown jasper. Here's what we came to look at. Yeah, see, that's mostly goodness. Even the off-color areas are actually mostly translucent with almost plume-like features and dendritic. A little black happening in there, if you'll indulge me. And that's the back half. You come around, see the blue of the chalcedony. Just a clear, and the whole top of this is, here's a side profile of the coating. That's pretty much just a gob of agate. Beautiful day, look at the water here. Just catching the light. Okay, in the bag with you. We're kind of picking our way through, just kind of looking, going down the bigger gravel beds, and you can see all the bigger trees here are gone and reduced, and then literally this stuff is, this veg matter would have been, before it was laid down, would have been like this tall. We would have been pushing through anise and everything else trying to get any visibility, and right now it's just laid down and just wide open. I'm reveling in it. I hope you are too. There's a shiny piece of something sticking out here. It's like a reddish jasper. Let's go dip that in the water. Ew. Oh, it's the same material. It's not quite a jasper. It's not quite red and yellow. It just looks like it. It's got some clarity. Gosh, just fossicking of any sort, exploring of any sort, hounding is just premium right now. Hunting for gold, it's new. We're the first people to walk through here since it got churned, and it hasn't. This was knee-high grass with root matter over it, and we're getting to look at 99% of the rocks that are laying here on the surface. What a treasure chest. Look at that. That one is cool. Kind of waxy dull luster. Thin chalcedony veinage going all through it. Some of that brown, solid, non-translucent material that we're looking at, but this one just broke everywhere where there was some see-through blue. I hope I'm not boring you too much. Sometimes I just feel like not hunting. Sometimes I feel like showing you everything, because this is where I get out here and I'm just kind of excited by all of the different forms of everything. And I could just high grade, but exploring all of the fun different varieties of everything. So trying to give you more of that experience. The gray rocks, the tan rocks, the what we'd call plain rocks that you're seeing mixed in here are a mix of both sedimentary, metamorphic, and volcanic. We are on the Ring of Fire, so this has heavy, all the different stones that come when a volcano explodes and lays down layers. Those are all here, all the different things that are present when layers get laid down under the ocean. Those are all here, and then the change of one by the other are all here. So we have everything from sedimentary slate that's been metamorphosized into a schist. We have serpentines of every shade and color. We have basalts, and we have sandstones and rhyolites, and yeah, so that's what you're looking at for the base here, you know, all the volcanic things happening. Serpentines, just chalky varieties, our different lavas and pumice mixes, our different rhyolitic tufts. This is the stuff that has the landscapes in it. I do try and go to places that I haven't been before, and even if I know there's 10 spots that I just drove by where I could go back and get more of whatever I found before that was really awesome and show that to you. Really a lot of the thrill of this whole deal for me is exploring and being able to show you stuff. So we may or may not strike out today as far as really cool finds. I never know. but that is definitely the fun in it. I prefer a little bit of a quest as opposed to just shooting fish in a bucket, you know? So, if that makes any sense. I don't know what we could find. I have some inklings here. I know there's lots of good stuff. Yeah, look at these zones. If you're a gravel hunter. Wow, it just gets wider and wider and wider here for a little while. You see here, raccoons been here in the night. They have to have water to eat their food because they don't have saliva, so you always see them next to a water source. If they don't have access to them, they can't survive. Here's one that's got real fine layers of the red, but you can see it's dragon-like nature. It's just a thin coating on there. This one, a thick layer of that. Whatever you want to call it. We're down on basically a hard pan. This is slate on its edge, so it's sedimentary rock. You can see the layers, and then everything else trapped on top. Ooh, oh, look at that! Look at that, laying right there. Oh, nice. So that is a member of the Chalcedony family, for sure. It's a microcrystalline. For sure it's a microcrystalline creature. And it goes from pretty cloudy at this end to see-through and orange and reds at this end, with a little, you can see in between, almost just a pure chalcedony blue. Yeah, nice little nodule of good green. That, when cut, would most likely be pretty translucent, believe it or not. As you've seen in the hook video, this more crystalline stuff is crystalline. See, these are big chunks of, like a, you know, not see-through. It's not translucent, but it's kind of like brown agate or something, and then all through it are little patches of drusies. And you see, I saw a better piece over here that I stood on end. Yeah, so this, you see by the texture, is just basically like a big brown agate, and then running through this stuff is the red agate and the orange agate. Let's see if I can bring this down in the bright light. We're gonna go ahead and open this one up, get more of a cross section. So cover your hair and your eyes. Just did that one in my hand. You can see its crystal value. It's microcrystalline all the way through. It's just browns and oranges and just not very translucent at all. But plenty crystalline. Little pockets of druzy in here. 5 minutes of walking. Rest of the stone is cloudy, but that is a nice little tip of it there. Shiny piece of red jasper. No, that's a mother stone. So that's not only really high quality, but that is a piece that has had smaller chunks knocked off of it to make tools. So I call them a mother stone. So not per se an artifact, but what the artifacts were coming from. And that is really cool. That's why it has such a refined look to it. It's basically the core of a much larger stone. Who knows how many individual tips that made. And these get overlooked big time. The whole flat pieces came off and then were made into other things. Well, I crossed over to this side of the creek. We'll have to walk back up this side and check the gravels. For now, I'm just looking at what has come out of the banks all the way along. Quite a load of dirt here on top of the whole thing. Wow. Look at the oranges and reds of that. That's different jaspers mixed in. A big old boulder. Not hauling that out of there. But we are in the bigger cobble. It's a big old shoot. That's a chunk. Oh, gosh. This one's pretty darn clear. Oh. Yikes. Oh, and it's all red on that side. Look down into this and you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see. You can kind of use some of the wet mud. And you just turn it like this and catch some light through it and you'll see. But that's some pretty translucent stuff as is all the way through here, not just a coating. You kind of look down into it and see the inclusions, some depth down in, so it gives you the idea of the transparency of it all. That's just a big old orange agate. What that is. Wow. Well, we're definitely going to try and set this one in the middle and come back for it, because it looks like it goes into some really orange material there on that little cap. It would be so cool to cut into this and show you. It's a big bite for any saw. Look how translucent that is though. Instead of a gray with little gray blue with little specks, this is kind of an orange yellow. This is a big old agate though. Jeez, okay, we're gonna try and haul this out of here. This is too nice of a piece. I'm hiking with backpack though, so we're just gonna have to hope to come back through this spot and that will be its fate. Look at that. Some nice stuff. Okay. Like that. And that should be a clue to go ahead and grab it on the way back. Okay. Size of these chunks of quartz. This is a big old chunk of brown material with stripes of chalcedony running on through it. Hope the camera's picking that up. Those aren't quartz. Those aren't just plain quartz, ordinary quartz. Those are translucent blue chalcedony. This is a lot like the material that was at Clear Creek in Middletown before. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty cool. Little veins all through there. Little crevice agates. Basically, just on a miniature level. Look at the whole back of it. It's just vein work. Oh, yeah, we're not going to haul that one, but just wanted to show it to you. Because that's what we're into. It's looking like, yeah. These epic landscapes above us. It's private property, can't go up there. It's old quarries and stuff. Can't yet, till we get permission. Yellow jasper. Bigger than my foot. Buried in this massive layer of dirt coming down here. Whole trees got ripped out and thrown around. Big old chunk of red jasper there. Blue green is that serpentine. Pretty nice clean piece of chert there. A good green that we like. Go ahead and take that home. That's good stock. You see the almost conchoidal fractures that it can get. It was used to make tools out of. And this is a nice beautiful piece. A piece of a, well, not really sure what to call that stone. I'd say quartz, but it's too pure for quartz. I'd say chert. Just definitely not the right color. Huh. Mostly cloudy, but would have been good tooling material. Good tooling material. Here's a piece. It's definitely chert. That's definitely chert. You know, starting to suspect somewhere around here there may have been a little camp where stones were being processed into tools, and that's what we're seeing is a little cluster of tailings, basically. Not the little pieces, but the source stones. Or we just might be in a little silicate pocket, but I have my suspicions from the feel of these and the look of them. Piece of red jasper with quartz fill all through it. That's some pretty cool patterning, but I'm going to leave that one. These sediment stones. All these are sandstones. Different grit sized sand was just the different beaches that it was made from. You can see the layers. Super plain but super cool because each one of those was probably a day when a sand layer washed in. When this was all offshore long ago. Underwater. A tiny propeller. Oh, we have lost our light. It has gone through the trees and over the hills. This pink piece of jaspery quartz here. The white quartz vein running through it. A little chilly without my jacket here. It's gotten late daytime. Found this, thought it was kind of cool because of its shape, because of the patterning on it. It's like a fine silt stone, but it has turned hard enough to be pretty cool. I think we might bring that home because even that could be a cool pattern. It's already almost a tower of sorts. Each one of those was just a fine layer of mud. Different sands and muds. Around the bend, I climbed back up on this side, get the sunshine on me. And now we're just trucking down the road to where we left the truck. And we're off in the distance, so yeah. Got to explore more than we got to find. But that's okay. That is okay. That's where I parked. You can't see the truck, but it's there. We went down in the creek. And we explored all the way down that. And all the way off into the shadows down there. So that was a fair stretch of land. It's a beautiful light on it right now. See how many of these large trees recover. A lot of those big pines won't. The times they are a-changing. And serpentine road cuts and cliffs all around us. You see all the geology really good right now. Yep. Off down the road.